Hello there. This really does show that those with the real wealth and power do not want the masses living rewarding and healthy lives. Now, I've often heard that there is more money to be made by some from an unhealthy population rather than from a fit and healthy one, with the potential golden goose being some form of medication that everyone would need to buy every day to keep them well, something that would have to be continually updated at great cost to the consumer. And the recent health emergency gave us a glimpse into what such a world would look like, just a glimpse into what an ongoing horror it would turn out to be. But it's worse. To get that type of result would also need a continuous program of psychological nudging, a sort of low-level terror bubbling in their consciousness, a sort of ongoing hypochondria. And last night's video by Dr. John Campbell gives us a hint on one of the root causes behind this. He explained how the use of vitamin D3 supplements have been shown to reduce depression and worse amongst military personnel and veterans in the USA. And he asked why weren't these cheap and readily available supplements considered for use in all cases of depression, instead of the first port of call being an expensive, new medication, thereby answering his own question. And as he is a very switched-on cookie, one assumes that is the one message he was hinting at. That Big Pharma and those that profit from it will always opt to give out these expensive remedies when the taxpayer is forking out for them, rather than dispense cheap and easy-to-make supplements. And it's not like vitamin D3 isn't a vital item for our bodies to soak up. And it's something that is vital for our general well-being and health. So why aren't there programs to ensure we are not deficient in the vitamins we need to function? Why, oh why, are these supplements slapped with VAT when the UK government admits on its website that although vitamins and trace elements are an essential part of human nutritional requirements, they are not in themselves food for VAT purposes? Therefore, vitamin and mineral supplements are standard rated, whether they are supplied in pill, capsule, powder or liquid form. So if you intensely dislike eating fish, but are happy to take cod liver oil pills to keep your joints supple, why should you have to pay the extra? Now, as I said, there are those out there who are seeking the golden goose of supplying, at great expense to us, the stuff that we need every day to stay alive. And they are not our friends. And although Big Pharma has been searching for this for years, agricultural farmers have been doing this for eons, with the difference being that they provide the stuff we need to stay alive every day, but at affordable prices. At least they were affordable until this latest cost of living crisis struck. And the only caveat I'd put on that is the approach taken by Monsanto to food. Check it out for yourself. And then there's all these drives to cut the use of things like fertilizers and also turn over land to make biofuels instead of food, something that must drive the price of food up. It's almost like someone is trying to move us to eating less good food and get us onto bugs and factory-produced frankenfoods, while suppressing our use of basic vitamins that might keep us healthier for longer. Now, in his video, Dr. John pointed out that the vitamin D trial he was referring to was not a full-on clinical trial, but he added that no one would ever do such an in-depth clinical trial for vitamin D because there was no money in doing so. There is only money for such trials where new procedures are concerned that would then lead to a big profit for Big Pharma. All the money and focus goes on new treatments, not the basics of good nutrition. Is it any wonder they end up getting pushed by governments? Maybe that explains Matt Hancock's completely f***ed up approach to vitamin D while he was Health Secretary where the health emergency was concerned. And why anyone who came forward with that vitamin D3 idea was derided and cancelled in as short an order as possible. No money in it. All aided and abetted by the press and social media, so you have to wonder what was in it for them. But the Wall Street Journal has recently questioned the position of the general press in presenting a one-sided view of the health emergency where face coverings are concerned, while burying any questions as to how good they were at the job of preventing any spread. And epidemiologist Daniel Halperin said in his article that he had sent a piece to Time magazine, but after initially saying they would publish it, it was eventually spiked. My experience seems to illustrate the media's continuing aversion to debate over the science of this episode in history, the official response to it, and the media's own efforts to squelch dissent, he said. And he went on to write that they keep telling us to follow the science, but you can't do that if you suppress scientific debate, he added. And I fear that scientific debate on basic nutrition will continue to be increasingly sidelined or even discredited in order to give Big Pharma the chance to grip us by the proverbials. So GB News is once again under the Ofcom spotlight. And this comes after the Tory Chancellor Jeremy Hunt was interviewed on the 11th of March by two Tory MPs who are both also GB News presenters, Esther McVey and Philip Davies, and it's not helped by them being married to each other either. Now, under the Ofcom rules, politicians can't be newsreaders, interviewers or reporters in news programmes. But they can host current affairs shows as long as a range of views is reflected. But what is the crossover between news and current affairs, I wonder? Anyway, the nation does need something to counter the lefty 10-ton weight of the BBC on the other end of the media seesaw, don't we? Richard.
Okay, so I've been putting this video off for some time now, and here I go. So I'm going to come clean. I'm going to be self-identifying as well. Yes, this is the bravest move of my life, I think. So, yes, I will be self-identifying as intolerant. I can't believe I got that off my chest. Yes, I am going to be from here on completely intolerant. Not your run-of-the-mill, slightly intolerant of this and that and the other. No, I'm talking really intolerant. Yeah. The type of person that you go, oh my gosh, have you seen how intolerant he is? Like, oh, that's me. Yeah. And if you don't like me being intolerant, then that makes you prejudicial against me. And we can't have that. You must be hard right. Yeah, hard right, far right, whatever you call it. That must be you. What else can I self-identify as multiple things, I wonder? Maybe I can be racist. Yeah, for about 10 minutes later on this evening, I will be self-identifying as racist, maybe? I don't know, I'll give it a go. What do you think? Anyway, enough of all this rubbish. This is how crazy the world's got. So, we'll see you again tomorrow at 5:45 for your daily dose of Jeff and I.